So for today's webinar, we're covering the Keystone Bills integration. So I'm going to run through a quick overview of like getting started, what that looks like, how to connect to your Keystone account to be able to have bills flow in, how to look at those bills, approve them, delete them, go through the whole part of that. If we have some time, I'd like to cover some field record keeping, field profitability, and how that kind of ties back to the bills that you're bringing into Traction. There's all sorts of financial reports. I don't think we'll have time to get through all of them, but from time to time today, I will touch on the ones that tie into the bill part of it and some other things. So lots of time today for Q&A. Again, we'd love to hear your questions. And so with that said, I think I will just go ahead and get started. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with this Traction account. So I do have Keystone connected to it already, but before I get started with that, anyone who is just getting started with Traction, we do make it pretty easy to get things set up. So a couple of things to point out that's going to be important as we kind of review the software today. When you first get started, there is this setting up entities feature. And so if I just click on it, I've already went through this myself, but for anyone who's getting started, the nice thing about the Traction platform is that you can have as many entities as you like. So I've got a couple of entities set up here. I've got my Stark Farms and also have a trucking business. And both of these different entities do require their own set of books. And so by setting up as an entity, you're able to accomplish that. The nice thing about the entity feature is that you can combine these reports into one or split them out any way you want to look at them. But it really all starts here, and you can have as many entities as you want. There are some other platforms out there that charge you by the entity. We don't do that. The other part here, getting started, connecting your banks and credit cards. Now, again, this is my Traction account. I do have my bank connected here. I just have my Huntington checking account connected. The way the banking and credit card feature works, there's really thousands of these banks in there to pick from. There's no guarantee that maybe your small hometown bank would be in there, but we have seen those banks appear to connect to. It really comes down to Plaid integration and if that bank supports Plaid. But a lot of the banks that we see are connected to Plaid, and so in my example here, if I record a check or deposit from Huntington Bank, those transactions will feed into my account register automatically. So it definitely saves you some manual data entry if you want to connect your banks and credit cards. All this said, with the banks and credit cards, you don't have to connect your bank and credit card. You can really do everything manually if you prefer it that way. But we do see a lot of advantages of going that direction. The third step is a very important step. We want to make sure you get your chart of accounts set up correctly for the different entities that you set up here. So I've got the Stark Farms. And so again, this is my own demo project here, but you can kind of see I've already selected a lot of my expense accounts and revenue accounts for this particular entity. Now, this is just getting started. We want to make it very simple for any farmer to quickly get up and running with Traction. So all the commonly used accounts that you would find on the Schedule F would be here, and you'll be able to add your own accounts as you move forward with this. So this is just kind of getting started to kind of get you off the ground. But we feel this is a really extremely important step, and we try to do as much work for you here. So that is just getting started. Before I hop into the next part of my demonstration, is there any questions? I'll keep going. All right, so let's go ahead and tackle right into the bills part of it. So with Traction connecting to your Keystone account, you have this little bills area on the left nav. And so as you can see, I've got a couple contacts here. I got the Keystone Cooperative, and I've got the True Land Equipment. So I do have a couple of bills already in here, but let's go ahead and add a new one from scratch. And I'm going to make that very easy because I've got the Keystone integration active. So when you get started in Attraction and you are a Keystone customer, what I'd recommend that you would do on the left nav, go down to Tools and click on Integrations. Now, you'll have a button here for Keystone. Mine says Demo here, but that's just because I've got a demo account in order to kind of fake the bills coming in. But you'll just click on the one that says Keystone Cooperative. You'll click on that and then put your account information in. So if I go to here and kind of show you what that would look like, what you want to do is put your customer number in, what entity that this impacts. And so like you saw this already, I've got two entities set up in Traction. You'll pick out your contact. We've got Keystone already set up. And then the date that you want to start syncing the information in. So I went ahead and backdate mine back to 2024. For all of you who are just getting started for 2026 and getting things off the ground, that's probably the sync date that you want to select here is just January 1st, 2026. And then the bills will start flowing in. But for whatever reason, you had some bills in December that you want to show up and you haven't put those into your accounting system yet, go for it. Go ahead and go ahead and backdate it to any date range you want. But go ahead and put that information in. There will be another question. I believe you got to put like an invoice number for like just a double check that this is actually you setting this up. So there is an extra step here. But we'll go ahead and hit cancel. But that's really all there is to it. I mean, once you connect it, on the very top here under accounting, you do have this import queue. And I've got a red circle that's got 99 plus. So this is a little extreme, so you have to kind of bear with me today on the webinar. But so I've got quite a few bills here I've not entered into Traction. That's probably not going to be your situation, but since this is just like a demo, kind of feeding me bills into the software so I can kind of show you how it works. That's kind of what you're looking at. But all these bills here that you're seeing on the screen, these have not been approved yet. These are just in this like holding area until you look at them and then answer a few questions and then approve them. And then they become an accounts payable. So at this stage, we've had a lot of farmers give us really positive feedback because sometimes there's mistakes that happen and they can catch it right here before they actually put the bill in. And so there might be a conversation they have with that vendor to make a correction, and then this thing will update automatically. So there's some really neat things you can kind of pull from it. Now, in my example today, I'm going to just focus on the one bill here for $2,412. Now, if I click on that bill, you'll see that Traction pulls all the information from Keystone into this bill area. So I can make some updates here, approve them, and keep moving forward with it. So these bills, they can be complicated. Let's face it. Sometimes the bills might have, I've just got 2 items here I'm looking at, but you might have 20, 25, 50 items to enter into a bill. So we've seen a lot of interesting bills, come through, a lot of positive feedback from farmers that would say this saves me really a lot of time from manually entering all my transactions in. So we do pull in the due date, the bill number automatically, and what you'll see here as I kind of move down the screen are these little red triangles. So the first time that I look at this row item here, it really doesn't know what it is. So there is a nice description here that says Lime. So if I click on it, what Traction wants to know is what exactly is this? Is it a input inventory item? Is it just a fertilizer expense that I want to allocate to a field? So on the right-hand side here, it defaults to inputs here because I want to, for the most part, you want to pick out the inventory it relates to. So this drop-down list is going to be a drop down of all the inputs that you've set up in Traction. Now, I've taken the time before I got to this screen to actually tell the software what are my inputs, like what are my fertilizers, my chemicals, my seed that I plan on using for 2026. So that's why there's a little star here, and that's why they're kind of nice and neat up to the top here. It makes it really simple for me to pick. But when I pick out that item in this example here, lime, it's actually going to pull in that inventory of 68 ton, and it has my cost per ton. And you'll see that I think I had like 15 um, tons of that inventory already in Traction. So it's going to add more. My new inventory is going to be 83 ton. So this is how we would prefer you to do it. However, there is another way of doing this as well. If you don't want to do inventory, and this is just a one-off thing that's being allocated to a field, you could go up to the top here instead of choosing inputs. You could choose service, other, and then from this drop down, actually right there's my fertilizer lime expense account, which is what you want to hit for the books. And then you could just pick out that field it goes off to. So in this case, you could pick out the Coltman field if that's where this is going to. So like there's like a couple of different ways you can do this. I'm going to use the example where I want to track my inventory, my inputs, and track how much I'm buying in Traction. And then as I do a field record later, it'll pull that out of inventory and allocate it to my fields. So this all looks good. I'm going to hit apply. I got to pick out lime here. Hit apply. There we go. And right there, you'll see that that red triangle turned to a green check mark. So if you are filling that information in correctly, that's kind of a little indicator there that you did it right. The next one right below that was really just a custom expense here. So I can go ahead and choose out like my custom hire expense. And for this example, this is going right to that field. So I'm going to pick out that Coltman field, hit apply. And again, I got the green check mark. Now, for this particular bill, I don't have any discounts or any kind of prepay, but if there were discounts here, you'd see them listed here. And so it just is trying to really, again, fill in all the information for you. This particular bill looks pretty good, but before I hit save, is there any questions? If you want to chat the questions or if you want to unmute yourself, I'd be happy to hear that. Okay. I'll just go ahead and keep moving forward here. We'll hit the save and import button. And what's really nice about it, when I hit the save, it's going to update my inventory. That's what this box is stating. It's just going to update everything and hit yes. And now that that bill is complete, if you go to bills on the left nav, you'll see that it is right here. And if you need to make a if you made a mistake or need to make any changes to it, you can easily do that by hitting the three dots and choose edit bill. And now it kind of kick you right back to the same screen. So nice having those bills listed right there. And as you kind of go back to the import queue and work on the next bill, I don't know if I've got another one that has that same product. Click on this one. Nope. What's nice about Traction, as you purchase items from this bill, it remembers it. So yeah, if I had lime here as an item, it'd actually have a green check mark automatically set. So there is some machine learning that's happening as you approve these bills and work on the next bill. It will actually start to fill in a lot of information for you. So it'll just kind of assume that you're buying lime from Keystone, and this is the lime that we call it in Traction. So it's already kind of connected and does that match for you. Reports. So when you get to reports, so accounting, we have lots of different reports here. And so if you want to look at your accounts payable report, you can set the date range up here for the entity that you want to look at, hit update, and that shows that information. There's that bill there that we just entered into traction. And if you want to, again, click this, these reports are all like drill down. So if you want to click on the amounts, it'll kind of take you right back where you just were. So yeah, I think you're seeing a theme here. We're trying to keep things very user-friendly from the aspect where you can go to a lot of different places from really anywhere and get to that same screen. Okay, I think we're kind of running out of time here. I want to get through one more section of this demo here and kind of go over some field records and some field profitability. So if I go to field ops on the left, you also have an import queue as well. Now, I have John Deere Operations Center connected to Traction. So if you want to bring in the field records in from John Deere or even Climate Field View, you can do that. And so by, again, doing inventories with the bills, that's where that kind of comes into play. So for my example today, I'm not going to approve one of these field records. Instead, we're just going to do one from scratch. I don't have any records for 2026 in here. Got quite a few for 2025, but nothing for 2026. So let's go ahead and add a new one today. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this, but we're going to do a new field record from scratch and kind of show you how all this comes together. I'm going to pick that Coltman field, hit next, and I'm just going to leave it today's date just for the sake of time. We would spend a little more here filling in all this information, but I'm going to hit the next button. Seed varieties, I don't have a lot of information here, but you can enter those in. Don't have a whole lot of chemicals here to apply, but we'll pick out the Atrex fertilizer. We'll choose that lime. So you can adjust these amounts here as well. It's just trying to figure that number for you when you do a manual field record. And so that all looks good for now. I'll hit the next button. If you want to assign the equipment to the field record, this is how you do it. Pick out the tractor. You can pick out the person. We can even pick out the planter. So it's tracking every acre across the field. There are some notes. I can apply notes on there, hit save. And I think we did that for 2025 by accident. Yep. So what you want to do is go to your reports here and go to field ops or accounting on the left and go to the field profit center report, hit this button. And so this report here, we can go to select zones. I've got 3 zones selected here automatically. So this is where I can uncheck them or select ones I want. I can go back and look at 2025 if I want to go back and look at the Coltman field, hit that one, hit apply, hit update. So what it's doing here, it's pulling all that information onto one report, all my chemicals, fertilizers, seed varieties, equipment used. There's that tractor, combine, or not combine, the planter. All my true costs are here. So whether it's coming from the bills or purchases or deposits, the accounting system is fully tied into the field operations, even down to the equipment side of things. So it's showing you the true cost per acre on that machine. So anytime I even allocate costs to a tractor, it's reflecting that cost to all the fields that tractor touches. So there is a couple ways you can look at this information. You can look at the actual equipment cost or default equipment cost, and that's really probably a whole nother webinar another day for you. But you can put fixed cost in for equipment and see it that way, or most of our customers will look at it and want to see the actual equipment cost on these field profitability reports. But these are really essential the way we look at it. We want to see exactly where the money's going, what fields is it worth doing a cash rent on this particular field in the future. A lot of farmers really struggle trying to get to this level of record keeping. So we try to make that super easy for you by, again, doing manual field records, or we really promote the John Deere Ops and the Climate Field View. If you any way you have machine data flowing in, we think that's going to make your job a whole lot easier. With that said, I will pause. And Sarah, is there anything that I've missed? Any questions that you see coming in?
No, I don't see any questions yet, but we are happy to take any questions for you guys regarding the integration. Would love to know if there are any current customers on who have any questions either, or people from Keystone if you have questions on the partnership as well. Happy to answer those. Um, no, I think Brian, you did a great job covering kind of the high level overview of traction and what we have to offer. Um, traction. Ooh, we've got a question. Could you show how to use the field ops flow, using the field ops flowing in?
Yep. Yeah, so that on the left side here is this import queue. It looks like I've got 68 jobs sitting in the queue. This works just like the bills in a way, because even though they're sitting in the import queue, doesn't mean they're part of your field records yet. So there's going to be four things here you're going to have to answer in order to make that an approved field record. So do you see these four buttons here? I've got the first one, I believe, is the crop zone. The second one is going to be the inputs, and then the third and fourth one, I think that's the equipment, and then the people one. The first two are the most important. You got to have those in green in order to import that as a field record. Now, we'd love to have you pick out what equipment and everything is as well as part of the record, but that's really up to you, how detailed you want to get. There's also, this can get kind of long here, depending on the time of the year you're looking at it. So if you want to kind of narrow it down and just see just your application records, you can do that, or your seeding records. And that way you don't have to look at all the other stuff. So that would be another way of looking at this. If I look here, let me see here. So if you look at this one here, I'm not really sure what's on this one, but I think this is a good example. So this field here is called the New Spawn Field, 36.5 acres. It looks like it's already, we did a crop. You got to pick out what crop year for each of these fields before you start working in traction. So this one already has corn grain for 2025. So that next step is going to hit that little red button here. And so this is a particular seed variety that we're just pulling from John Deere, right? We're just taking what they give us. And so what you want to do here is pick out that variety and traction and do that match. So again, if you think about the bill side of it, you got to do that same match too, right? You got to pick out what the product name is that Keystone says you're bringing in. You got to match it with what traction gives you. So exact same technology is being used here too. So if this particular variety is this one right here, and then you hit the save button, that's going to turn green, right? And then this button's going to let you import it in. I'd love to see you go one more step and pick out, the machine used as well. And if this is all junk here for some reason, you can remove that and hit save. So you kind of go through this. That is the ultimate right there. If you have four greens, import, that becomes a field record, and that updates your field profitability reports. It's talking to your accounting system too at the same time. So it's pulling all of your true numbers right back down to field level. So not sure if that answered your question, but that is how you would take a field record from John Deere and make it a traction record. And then at the end of the day, all this stuff appears in the field records area.
Yeah, it works very, very similar to the Keystone integration side of things as far as we do want to have a manual check on everything. We want to make sure that good data in, it stays good data. So it's a wonderful, wonderful workflow. All right. Any other questions? We've got time for maybe one more.
And still think about your questions. I'm going to switch the screen here for just 1 minute because I like to talk about the other things that we have going on at Traction. So the things that we love to do are these webinars. So there's so many different rabbit holes that we can go down with topics. We have a couple of them coming up here. One's next week, analyzing field by field profitability. So I just showed you a little bit of that today. We're going to go much deeper on that next week. So we'll spend the entire time going over purchasing inputs and how that impacts your inventory and how those impact your field profitability reports and stuff like that. So love to see you on that webinar as well as the one after that. It goes more into the tractor costing side of things. That's another rabbit hole because all that is, lots of different ways you can allocate cost to machines if you want to go that deep into traction. But that also impacts your field profitability. So that's really a two-part webinar that February 3rd and February 17th. We do share these webinars with you afterwards. So if there's something that you want to go back and listen to again and see how you do something, we're gonna do that for you. But I want to at least get this out to you because these webinars, we love doing them. If you have requests for other types of topics, feel free to use the chat. You can let us know that way, or if you want to send us an email or give us a call, love to hear from you.
We did have one other question pop in, and it was, can you share with your accountant traction like you could in QuickBooks? And the answer is yes.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Brian, do you want to give a quick look on how to share
Mhm.
to an accountant?
Yeah, yeah. So how you would do that in the upper right corner, there's this little circle here. That's your profile button. So what you do is just click on your profile button, go down to account management. You'll get here, and then you'll add a new user, and you'll type in their information, their email, phone number, and hit save. When you do that, it will then send them an invite in their inbox, inviting you to your Traction account. So once they receive that email, they'll have to set up a password. And as the owner of your Traction account, you don't know what their password is. All that's kind of protected by the other person. But when they put their username in, which is their email address, and they'll put their password in, they'll be able to get access to your Traction account and be able to see some of the reports and things. Yeah, I wish we had more time to cover the reports because there's a bunch. We are actively always working on this sort of thing, giving you the reports that you would want to look at. And a lot of these reports, when you click on them, um, you have the ability to export out of Traction. So that's also another important thing because you'll have a lot of people that will maybe want to look at your data and you may not want to give them access to your Traction account, but you might want to export some of those reports out as a PDF file or a text file for a spreadsheet. So we try to accommodate you in many ways to get the information out and to help other people.
Awesome. And then we had one last question. How do we view past webinars? Or is it possible?
It is. Yeah, actually, we will be sharing this webinar recording with you. So be looking for an email at some point this afternoon, most likely. That email will have a link to the recording for today. It also has a link for all the past recordings. So just open up that email. You'll see it. It's going to be pretty clear. Just click the button, and you'll have access to all the prior recordings that we've ever done at Traction. So you'll have all those. If you want to go back and look at some 1099s or field profitability, equipment costing, webinars, they're going to be all right there at your fingertips.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Brian, for giving us a look today. And thanks everyone for all the questions. Brian, I'll let you wrap it up.
Yeah, that's it. We're always here to help. So, we got a great support staff. For those who have not started traction yet, you'll get a lot of help from the very beginning, making sure everything is set up correctly. That's going to be the important part of getting started, making sure that chart of accounts is pretty solid and getting your entities, all those different things, making sure you're just kind of getting off the right foot. So, yeah, no, I appreciate the time today. We will be in touch with a follow-up email here shortly that's got all the webinar information on it. And yeah, hope to see you at a future webinar. Yep,
Thank
take
you.
care, everyone. Thank you.